Hey everybody, it's Thursday the 9th. I wanted to do a bonus webinar or video here just to talk about gold and silver stocks. As you know, I'm not a fan of these things. And the biggest reason I'm not a fan is that the way they trade is, silver here, for instance, they gap almost every single day. And the reason for that is that we have a near 24-hour market. In fact, I don't know what the hours are for gold and silver, but I know they trade overseas overnight. And as they trade overseas and our market is closed, these things, the ETFs, will gap pretty much every single day to catch up to the overseas prices. So silver is back above its 20-day moving average. It has a rising 50-day moving average. We had a couple nasty moves lower, and you had to buy when it looked like crap to make money. And that's part of my problem with commodity stocks as well, is that, same thing with gold. You had to buy when it looked like crap to make money. Now, realistically, it is becoming more positive here. We've got the anchor in gold from that high, which was 20 days ago, right in this area. So, it's not going to trade like this, but for it to pull back and then get going next week, that would be a nice way to look at it. If you look at the ETF, the GDX, that's starting to get going here once again. And there's our weekly chart. So it's back up to this level where a breakout may occur on this rally up. As you know, I don't trade these stocks, and I made an exception and bought some call options on FSM about 2 weeks ago. It feels like forever. I think I bought it. I bought those calls right here. And then over here, I was thinking, yeah, of course, these things are stupid. And I still think they're stupid the way they trade, which is why I bought call options, because I guarantee I would have sold the stock over here. Those options are starting to work, and that's good. But for Fortuna Silver, I mean, it's broken that resistance. It still looks strong. If you trade these names, I really don't know how to trade them well. So I'm just going to say these charts look good. This one's back above its anchor from the all-time high. You've got a bunch of them. Some of the bigger names like Newmont. It's not quite as bullish as FSM, which is why I bought FSM. But Newmont is, got this bigger level here where this prior support acted as resistance. Now it's holding on once again. So if you look at the anchor off the high here, we're trapped right at it. But it has the ability maybe to start to rebuild in here. And it seems as though it just kind of did that today. Here's our anchor off that low and off that high. So it got going a little bit in here today. And if you're interested in, what looks like a low risk setup, any pullback like this, and then it gets going again, maybe your stop goes underneath the low of the last of this week, basically, would be a way to trade Newmont. Then you've got names like SIL, which is the Silver Mining Index, ETF. So that one could be something that maybe you're interested in getting involved in. If you look at it's battling this level right in here and arguably through it. So what would the next level be? Well, if we look at anchors, we can look at this one and say from that high, well, maybe it's going to run into a little bit of resistance up near 35. I don't know. It's a potential level. Horizontally, when you look at where does it have the potential to go, maybe up into this area where you had resistance there, support, kind of, not really well-defined, more erratic in that area. But you've got Hecla Mining, HL, looks okay on the weekly chart, not the best. Let's talk about, we'll just go in alphabetical order on some of these other ones. AG, which is First Majestic Silver, that's got a nice look to it. If you look at the all-time high anchor, we'll probably, and I haven't done this yet, we'll probably do some handoffs here. And you see it hit there and hit there. Now, that was the most recent one. So, of course, we want to do a handoff off of that. And lo and behold, that's what we're trying to hold above right now. So let's look at 2 time frames together on this AG. AG, the Attorney General here, is back above the anchor from that high, which is right here. So here's a stock that, maybe with a stop below here, if you can figure out a low risk way into it, then maybe it does something like this. Let's look at a few more. AMRK, we actually had this one as a trade. If you recall, we had the trade from here over into here. I think we got stopped out of some, maybe the whole thing right there. And man, this is just how stupid these miners trade. I don't know why it did this that day, but it was obviously a horrible day for this stock. And that candle shouldn't be black because it opened low and closed near the high. Anyways, that's what's stupid about candles also. And I don't know why I'm mentioning it that way. I guess just because I don't like candles. Coeur d'Alene, CDE. Let's take a look at that one. We'll go to the weekly chart first. Beautiful breakout. It's got room to run. If you can hold these things, you're probably going to do very well with them. I'm not an investor. These things, I think you have to have an investor mentality to make money in them because they don't trade like normal stocks. So you've got to give them a lot more room, and I'm not comfortable doing that. Let's see. We looked at FSM. We looked at GDX. Let's go at gold, GOLD. Great symbol, just a kind of a neutral stock, Barrick Gold. Hecla Mining. Same thing. It's, it doesn't look as good as some of the others. Kinross Gold, KGC. That one's probably what would be considered a leader right here and maybe a little bit extended. Pan American Silver, PAAS. That one's got a nice look to it. Keep an eye on that one. SVM. This is Silver Core Metals. And, the SIL is beyond this resistance. So if you look at SIL and then this SVM is a little bit of a laggard, is it going to catch up and run up to that level? I don't know. I don't know anything about the fundamentals of these companies. The problem with mining stocks also is you've got the underlying asset, the stock that is, but you don't know if these guys are hedged and they're not able to participate in an upside or whatever the case may be. WPM, Wheaton Precious Metals, that's got a nice look to it, although you look at it like this, it's kind of extended, riding that 20-day moving average nicely, but it's not a growth stock. I don't think you can trade them like growth stocks. Not a gold and silver name, but Alcoa looks decent. You look at that weekly chart, another miner, it's aluminum, of course. Do a handoff here and look at how we did that handoff. I promise I hadn't done this. This wasn't my plan to go back and retrofit things, but that was resistance. Now it's back above it. We've got a rising 10, 20, 30, 40 week moving average. Alcoa is a so-called blue chip. Let's see. Do they pay a dividend? They pay 1.2% dividend. So there's something to keep an eye on. AMP, what is this? B, did I look at? Let's see. AMPB. AMPD maybe? Nope. I don't know. There was another silver. I don't remember. APMB. Now I'm just making stuff up. Anyways, keep an eye on some of these mining stocks if you trade them. I'm going to try not to give advice on them because I just find them very difficult to trade, but they're clearly set up for higher prices. And again, we'll just leave it here with the GDX and say, weekly chart, there's things going on.